for practical coding in Java. That's how the videos will behave. We will use the sheets, the worksheets, and the content of the worksheets to help us guide us. So if you want some text to see what we're working on, go and have a look at a particular worksheet that this video corresponds to. Okay, so when you have installed IntelliJ, IntelliJ will give you an appropriate installer for each of the platforms, Windows and Mac, and I'm not sure what other ones it offers. You want the Community Edition, which is free. Then you'll come to this window when you actually start it up, and this is your starting point. And you notice, and it's very important perhaps to make sure that you're aware that when you write programs in Java, you always are doing it within what's called a project. Okay, a project gathers together several different files and keeps them organized neatly in folders for you. And that's very, very important for you to appreciate. It doesn't deal with separate files, though it can. That's not an issue. Remember, we're going to be practical. So, in practical terms, what do we want to do? You want to create a new project. So, click New Project. Excuse that share, that's previous video. You'll come to the new project window. You want to select Java. You don't have to select anything else on that screen. Click Next. Pay attention, there should be something under the project SDK. I have 1.8 Java version down over here. Make sure that you have a version there. You don't need to specify any libraries down here in the lower section here. Press Next. You come to this Create Project from Template window. You do want to create a command line app. And the reason you want to create a command line app is because that will give you a starting point for your application, a console. Press Next. Give your project a title. I'm going to just leave it as untitled. You'll see the location, and you will have something called base package. I have renamed the base package to capital MY files, and you might want to do that. Later on that'll become clearer what that actually does and how it works, but rename that to my files, give your project name a sensible name, and check the location. Spend a few seconds, make sure that that's all right, and then hit finish. When you finish, you will open up the following window. On the left hand side in this version I have the project window, which has all the folders, and this is my main file, first Java file. It's called main.java. That name here next to the word class is also the name of the file. Okay, and inside it also has something called a public static void main. Now this might confuse you. What we're going to do is just change this very slightly. But before I do that, quickly, if I open up the name of the project and go to the SRC folder, you will see under the SR there's a folder called My Files. If you think back, the base project code package, whatever it was called in the previous screen, is actually the name of a folder where your code will live. Okay, your code is sitting inside here. Now, having the name of the file and the class the same as the function, because that's essentially what that is, can be a little bit confusing. So what we're going to do to keep things a little bit simple, and this is also in the notes, is we are going to rename this class. And we're going to rename it, and we have to use this approach. You right click it, you go down to the word refactor, rename. Select rename, and then change the name. And the name you should change it to is program. For a class, all classes are capitalized. So make sure you capitalize it, press enter, and you will notice a couple of changes. The file name in this tab has changed to program.java. Over here under My Files, the actual file name has changed as well. If you don't use this mechanism I've shown you called refactoring, it will put everything out of synchronization and create problems for you. Okay, so you have a basic starting point. Let's simply print something in the console. So to print, we have to write this capital S system dot select out, because we're going to print out to the console, and select out of this huge list print line, PRINTLN, hit tab, it gives you a bracket, put a speech mark, and you'll notice straight away it gives you a closed speech mark, and at the end of the line it's put a semicolon. Inside those speech marks, put hello world. And that's how you would print that, not hell world, hello world. Now, in order to run it, you have several options. There's a little green triangle by public static void main, or there's a green triangle up here by program, but over in the top right hand corner it also has a green triangle which is pointing to this same place. I'm going to click this one here, run main, and at the bottom you'll see there's a build, so it's building the file, and there is the console window that it pops open, and there it outputs. So what I would do after this video is make sure all of these pieces work. You refactor your main file correctly, and you try different things to output before you go to the next video.